The goal that we have with the leaderboard for fix and for sales is to build a culture in the store, a competitive culture in the store, but a healthy culture as well. All we're doing is providing data to the frontline workers to incentivize them to sell more because they know where they stand at any given time.
I think I've seen it happen with many of your clients is that they get into it and then they start seeing the insights kind of over time, and they almost just naturally start adjusting their process.
So it's how are you motivating your salesperson so that way when you look at those numbers from those great reporting tools, the way those numbers would increase is by the people on the front line selling more product.
Hey, what's going on, Automotive World? It is Jason Harris here, and welcome to NADA 2026. I have the one, the only, the oh so famous. He didn't have to pay me to say it. I'm not even going to say a guest. I'm going to say a friend. I have Todd Katcher with me with Digital Dealership Systems.
Exactly.
What's up, Todd?
Good to see you again,
Good to see you, man. It's been a while. You know what's funny? I was thinking about this. You know, we've known each other for like over a decade now.
Exactly. Yeah. It's been about that long. It's been good. It's been a long time.
Well, hey, man, we're here. We made it. No ice storm.
No recall of NADA 2025.
Man, that was rough, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, Vegas is always good to us. Really, everybody likes
That's
Vegas.
true.
There's a lot of energy. It's funny as a digital sign company because you get out at the airport.
Yes.
And for dealers that say digital signs don't work and they come to Vegas and digital signs are everywhere.
Everywhere. I mean, literally
24/7.
The largest digital signage in the world is sitting like 3 blocks from us.
Oh, and if you look at how much automotive companies are spending in Vegas to advertise digital signs on the outside of hotels for 3 days.
But Todd, does that work?
That doesn't work. But we're going to spend money on it anyway. Yeah, so
you're absolutely right.
It's amazing. I mean, you get off the airport and there's just an energy. Where's that energy come from? It comes from all the digital signs and all that action, and it tells you where to go and what to do and what to see. Yeah. And then imagine this: you go to a hotel and they're not advertising their competitors, but you go to a lounge TV, you go to a lounge of a dealersship, and they're
seeing ads from,
and they're seeing an ad for another one.
100%.
Amazing how Vegas figured a lot of things out, right?
It did.
But dealerships, it's maybe it will take a little bit longer.
They need to spend a little more time here.
Logic hasn't really fallen into the dealership world quite yet.
No, look, and there's still a lot of room for opportunity. We got talking a little bit earlier last time we got a chance to record. Last year, I physically walked into like 367 dealerships, and I know you walk into a lot too.
Yeah.
And look, I would tell you, there are some great operators, hence the ones that are probably watching right now. That's
because
why
they're humble and they want to learn.
That's right. But to your point, there's definitely a lot of space for improvement.
Right.
And but hey, I want to get into that, and I really do. But I love kicking off these conversations with little origin stories.
Sure.
So for everybody out there watching and listening right now who don't know who you are, let's start off with how in the world did you get started in this crazy world we call the automotive industry?
The real Cliff Notes story for those that remember Cliff Notes. Yeah, none of those still exist anymore.
I hope.
But anyway, they're probably digital, which is
now.
Anyway, another story. So, but the idea is that way back when I was a younger lad, I used to own bars and restaurants in Nashville, and I had a small digital sign company in 100 bars across Nashville, and one of our regulars came up and said, I want you to do this for my business. And I said, well, what would you want it to do? And so we went to his car dealership, and he said, well, I want this and I want this, and I want to advertise to people inside my car dealership.
Sure, spent a lot of time there.
And I said, great. What content do you want on it? And over time, that's kind of been a formidable experience to go ahead and say what our system has become today, because every little aspect, every little leaderboard, every little thing that we do, the products, the layout, the design is all from dealer feedback. So that's where it all started way back when I was a younger guy, when I didn't have these physical ailments that I have these days as an older gentleman. I didn't have the gray that I have now. Yeah, the gray, the backaches, the older men stuff.
No, I mean, Todd, there's something I have always appreciated about you. Every single insight, every single dashboard, every single screen, like you've done it from such of like willingness to humble yourself and say, look, teach. I want to be a student of operations.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
where does this fit for you? Like, look, don't get me wrong. I work with a lot of tech companies. Sometimes, unfortunately, and you guys know it too, because you're out there watching and listening right now. Like, sometimes we build tech for the sake of building tech. Todd is not one of those. You take a lot of time in talking with your dealers and really partnering with them to make sure the product comes out in an amazing way.
Yeah, I think a lot of these vendors have worked their way up in the auto space.
Yeah.
And then they mandate down the way that they would want it.
It's true.
And then they get pushback from dealers that may not want to be told how to run their store.
Yeah.
And that's a fair point when it comes to like digital retailing.
Yeah.
Why does digital retailing why is it not everywhere? Where is that as the buzzword today?
That's true.
And it's because dealers don't want to be told how to run their stores. No. They want supportive tools that they choose, but they don't want to be told what to do. And so all of our products were developed by those conversations. What do you want to see? So when someone says, can I customize it? I say, well, what would you customize? And sometimes they're baffled because they just want to know it can be customized.
Of course.
But we often find out that we already have the report because their idea of what is there, what they want is there,
Sure.
someone else already asked for. But dealers don't like to hear that.
No.
They always like to feel like in their bubble, they are the best and they
Yes.
do things different than everybody else. In reality, it's a little bit different, but there are some good operators and some not so good operators.
There are some
and
good
there are some
ones.
people that are good people persons and some that are not.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference in the dealership world. And I think it matters in the vendor world just the same.
100%. And I'm glad that you brought up good operators because, I know you guys watching and listening now, you're probably a good operator. Hence the reason why you're actually watching this show on a regular basis. But with that said, I found a pattern, and this is where I kind of want to get into our conversation, but I found a pattern that some of the best operators I've worked with have a very data and insights first approach to everything they do. And this includes, their people. This includes the processes that they put into their dealership. This includes ultimately the technologies that they're going to put it in. It's not a lot of I think or I feel, but I'm going to find some insights that's going to move myself into one of these three categories. So here's my question for you, right? Obviously, we're in this new year. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of buzz here. AI everywhere. Did you know that?
Yeah,
everywhere.
everywhere.
It's
even companies that don't have AI.
It's over there. It's over there.
Yeah.
You know what I kind of feel? I feel like Oprah Winfrey sometimes. I'm like, you get an AI, and you get an AI, and you get... No, I'm sorry. Anyways.
Everybody has AI, but a lot of times it's not even AI. It's just algorithms, and they don't know. Dealers don't know the difference. But that's a technology conversation.
Well, and it gets flashy.
Sure.
So that's why I want to bring our conversation because I know me and you are good at this. So really, in the buckets of people, process, and technology, where do you think as dealers right now for this year? Where should we be looking and what should we be focusing on?
I think it always comes down to people.
Great.
Okay, because without a good team, you're pushing the person that doesn't want to be pushed.
Yeah.
You're trying to build a culture with people that are resisting. So you have to build a team, and that could take years.
Of course.
I always relate things back to sports because you go, how much does a coach matter? They don't always make the individuals better as performers, but they take their best talents to find out where they fit and excel. So look in sports,
I like that. Yeah,
like when you go ahead and have somebody, a coach goes from one team to another, or a quarterback goes from one team to another. And all of a sudden that quarterback that was second or third string is now first string.
Yes.
And because they now have the coaching and the support that they need. And I think it always comes down to people. Then management sets the process, right? So the right manager sets the process for the people.
That's where the leadership aspect comes.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when you get down to the individual products, the challenge that dealers have across the board is, as you were saying before, there's always buzzwords every year.
All the time.
And dealers, sometimes they go to that shiny object like the dog in Up. Squirrel. But the idea is how are you actually going to implement that? I had a conversation with the dealer today, and they were talking about all these different things that they saw. Because one of the first questions, what did you see that you liked? What did you see that?
Sure.
And they feel overwhelmed because it seems like the same story every single time.
Yep.
And it's trying to figure out what the best path is to success.
Yes.
And is this widget that you're adding to your store, does it change the process in your store?
Yeah. Does it make it better, right?
Right. Or does it require you to do work?
And that's
So a lot of dealers go ahead and come in and they say, oh, I'm going to sign up for these 6 programs, and now it's going to take a year to implement them because you could only do one at a time.
And that's a big deal. I mean, I was just before we started recording this session, I got to sit in with a session with you and some dealers, and I could see it in the body language. I could hear it in the tonality. They're like, Todd, how much work is this really?
Right.
And I get it because I empathize. I've been there, right? And it is a serious question. So you're right. I got to build the people first, and and then through the process, I can start moving my way over.
Yeah, and then when you think about the products that you have, in this case, the services here at NADA, which services are going to augment the people and augment the process?
Make it more efficient.
Let's not change it. No, you're looking to make it better, right?
Exactly.
So at the same time, what I've had in conversation is that out of everything here, it requires them to do work in the dealership, and really our leaderboards and our programs that we have here, sign in, plug and play, and there's nothing. We're just showing data that increases sales. We're changing culture in the store, and we're helping them with their process, but we're not telling them how to run it.
No, and that's one thing I've always appreciated you, because I actually understand that you might actually have to put in a little bit of self-control because, look, we want the dealers to do better. Right. And sometimes you almost kind of want to say, just stop doing that. Just do it this way. But to your point, though, and something I always appreciate, like, look, let me support what you have built. Right. All right. And then in the supporting that and making things very visible. Right. They will start making changes themselves, and you are very patient in guiding them to that space.
I think the goal that we have, like with the leaderboard for fixed and for sales, is to build a culture in the store, a competitive culture in the store, but a healthy culture as well.
100%.
Like one of our best customers out there actually created a whole culture around our system, but they created the culture. We had the tools. So it's the same tools we provide to other dealers, but when they get a text message, when a deal is delivered in the store, they all congregate around the sales desk, they all applaud their colleague, they look at the individual leaderboards and see who's on top of each board.
They can see the little movement.
They see the movement
so fast.
Exactly.
That's what I love about your leaderboards. They're so fast. They're so fast in updating. It's like it only takes just about 15 minutes, I think, tops in most cases.
Max.
Right? Where it's like, he just there you, and he just moved up a notch.
Yeah, so everybody moves up based on the different ones. So and every different leaderboard within the system has a different KPI that is tracking. So you may be 3 on one report, 5 on another report, 1 on another. So you're going to see where you land. And if you're competing against your buddy at the store, you're going to be like, I got you this time. And it creates that friendly competition, and it creates culture.
Yes,
now we're not creating culture. We're providing the dealership with the tools, and then they do it. That's different than if you sign up for, we've all gone through it when a dealer says, I'm signing up for a new CRM, a new DMS, this new app, this new thing, and they have to now change their whole process.
That's a monster process change.
And it's like dealers are set in their ways and their process because that process has worked. What we're doing,
it's worked in the sense of the insights that they have to them now.
Correct.
What I have always been impressed, and I've seen it happen with many of your clients, is that they get into it, and then they start seeing the insights kind of over time, and they almost just naturally start adjusting their process.
So we're not forcing that adjustment on them. Like if you go ahead and we're surrounded by these mega dealer vendor team. The booths get bigger and bigger every year, even if no one uses them. There's so many empty seats, but they fill out these big seats, like 20 by 20, 30 by 30, 50 by 50, these huge places, right? And they go ahead and it says the big implementation process. And it's like, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to send a team of 6 to your store. We're going to train everybody to do this way. So like whatever you're doing before you sign up for us, that's out the window. And, that's fine. It probably has its place. But I don't want to be there. We're not a consultant.
And I don't think anybody needs to do that quite yet because they don't have the insights that you're able to show from a behavior perspective of, just how, because here's the thing. If I don't know like where I stand, go back to the sports, right? Sure. If I don't know every time I step up to the plate and swing, just how well I'm stepping up to the plate and swing, but I go ahead and just decide I'm going to change the bat I'm using.
Right.
We gotta be honest with you, that's about the stupidest thing I've ever heard, right? No, don't get me wrong.
That may work over long term.
That's right. Take the same bat I've been using for a long time, measure, make that baseline, then maybe I'm going to go try another bat.
Right. Yeah, I had a dealer today say, was interesting, he was talking about leaderboards. Yeah. And he said, well, right now we're sharing reports at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So it's like you have the game, and we're looking at, we don't look at the score. until the game's over.
It's true.
And so when you think about how most dealerships look at their
That's a really good point.
motivator boards, how are you motivating people for their production today when you don't review it till the end of the week or the end of the month?
Because you know what, looking back in the rearview mirror, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to move forward if you're always looking backwards, right?
Well, you also look at the perspective of from a sales or fixed ops perspective.
Yeah.
My payment, my bonuses are based on my production.
Good point.
And if we don't, let's say that we have a meeting every Saturday, but there's over the month ends on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't know where I stand or if I hit my bonus till.
No idea.
How does that make sense to anybody? You're messing with my pay, and that's not a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing.
So the opportunity to go ahead and alleviate that with services, and then all we're doing is providing data.
Yes.
To the frontline workers to incentivize them to sell more because they know where they stand at any given time.
I think look, here's the thing that we all know as watchers out there and listeners that like data is available everywhere, but to be able to put it into a, what's the word I'm looking for? A motivational lens.
Yeah.
That's what I admire of what you did, because I got to be honest with you, not all data is very motivation. There's not a lot of motivation behind.
No, there's great reporting tools out there.
Look how bad you screwed up.
Yeah, past tense.
You've done a great job, I think, of balancing out both understanding where you've come, but motivating where you're going to go.
Reports are great.
Yes.
There are many companies, we don't have to name them. There are many companies that give reports. Those are snapshots of past performance. And what we're doing is providing motivator boards to make money today.
Yes.
It's important. Both of them have a role. Of course. So when we talk to dealers, there's they in the restaurant business, they say front of house and back of house.
Yep.
Automotive, they talk about front of house and back of house differently. They talk sales and fixed. They have other areas of the house too, like finance and everything else. So there's different areas. But the idea is like, how do we go ahead, even within sales, you have your general manager, you have your general sales manager, then you have sales manager, and the people that actually talk to the customers.
Of course.
How do you motivate them?
How do you motivate them?
These deep-end reporting tools that show you your P&L of every little thing in your store, your salesperson doesn't care about. So how are you motivating your salesperson? So that way, when you look at those numbers from those great reporting tools, how are the way those numbers would increase is by the people on the front line selling more product.
Yeah, look, you're allowing leaders to be leaders. Look, I know we're getting towards the tail end of our conversation.
I get it.
And I love every single time that we get a chance to jam.
Sure.
Because you can tell, as you guys can tell real quick, I mean, Todd and myself have so much passion and so much energy and love for this industry. And we get excited when we see dealers win.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick though, before we go, for everybody out there watching this, because I know for sure we haven't covered everything.
No.
But man, we touched on some great topics.
Yeah.
For everyone who would like to connect, learn more, and just maybe continue some parts of the conversation, what's the best way to connect with you, Todd?
Yeah, basically we're all over LinkedIn and our website, digitaldealerships.com. And you could reach out to me there, schedule a demo, or just schedule a conversation. I do these demos. We do some training calls with dealers. We do best practices with dealers. So if anyone has our product or is interested in learning more, I'm happy to go, hey, this is what we're currently doing. What do you offer to help us? Whether it's customer lounge TV, why are you showing your competitors ads in your lounge? What service drive, increasing their RO count in your service drive, motivating your fixed and sales people. We're here for you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And guys, I do encourage you, reach out to Todd. He's such an approachable guy and very knowledgeable, and he cares a lot. Todd, thank you so much for taking the time to jam with me. This has been a lot of fun. Hey, for everybody out there watching and listening, we appreciate you. One of the biggest compliments you can give us as content creators is to share the show. All right, if you have a manager or a colleague that needs to see some portion of our conversation today, share the show, be a hero. It means a lot to us. Thanks again. Really appreciate it, Todd. Thank you guys. You have yourselves an amazing day.